Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to science. Today we're going to be talking about the digestive system. So, as an introduction, we're going to go through about 10 slides here. So, digestion is going to require two things it's going to require mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Both of these are involved in breaking down the food. Mechanical digestion is literally grinding the food together that we start with our teeth. There are other processes that are also going to be massaging the chemicals into the food by the contractions of our stomach and other things like that. Chemical digestion is going to utilize different enzymes to break down many of the different kinds of macromolecules within our system. The digestive system, the organ of the digestive system, is going to require mechanical and chemical digestion, ingestion, propulsion, absorption, and defecation. The digestive system consists of the alimentary canal and the accessory organs. So we're going to start with the alimentary canal. What is the alimentary canal? This is the food passageway. This is going to consist of organs that extend from mouth to anus. So we are a tube within a tube. So mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and eventually the anal canal. It's a muscular tube, roughly 8 meters long. The accessory organs are going to be used and utilized in this process. They're going to have secretions that are going to empty into the alimentary canal, allowing for the digestion of many of the different food sources that we have, included but not limited to salivary glands, gallbladder, pancreas, to name a few. Here are the accessory organs that are going to be involved. Here are salivary glands in the mouth. We can see all of these different things that are going to be involved in this process of the breakdown of our food, foodstuffs, and bolus until it's to the point of being completely absorbed. So the wall of the alimentary canal is composed of 4 layers. Those 4 layers are going to be going from innermost to outermost is the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and the serosa. In the mucosal layer, you're going to have a mucous membrane, and it's going to have lots of folds on it. The folds that exist within the digestive system is to increase the amount of surface area because the nutrients will be absorbed through the surface. The more surface you have would be similar to having a longer intestine. So our small intestine, if it was way longer, it would be equivalent to what it is now with all the different curvatures of the things going in and out of those different things. This is going to absorb dietary nutrients, secrete mucus, and enzymes. Now, just on the other side of the mucal layer is going to be the submucosa. Submucosa is going to nourish cells. It's going to transport absorbed food molecules. And eventually, we're going to have this food taking into the blood supply. The muscularis is going to have circular muscles as it's going around, and this is going to be involved in 2 different parts. One is going to be the movement of things in a non-directional form, and there's also a directional form of contraction, a peristaltic type movements that moves things through the system. The outermost layer is the serosal layer, and the serosal layer, just like other organs, has a visceral peritoneal layer that's going to cover all this in the abdominal cavity. Here are these different layers, and you can see the cutaways. You can even see the mucosal layer, submucosa, and in closer, zoomed up, you can see some of these things there. So the mucosal layer with all the different surface area, and you can see zoomed up the goblet cells that are there. You can see the capillary bed and the lymphatic lacteal that's there. You can see the submucosa, a nourishing layer. You can see the muscular layer that's there, muscularis. And then you can see the serosal layer that's on the outside that has the visceral layer that's on that. So 2 types of movements that we see in the alimentary canal. One is the mixing movement. You have your stomach and small intestines that are going to churn, move things back and around. It is not directional. It's just going to essentially massage back and forth in the fluids with the enzymes to make sure that we're coating and getting as much exposure as possible on those food parts. The propelling movements. This is where we are moving things in a directional area, and that process is called peristalsis. If you took a balloon, a long balloon like what clowns tie, and put a marble in the balloon, and your goal was to move the marble to the other end, you could do it by alternating the contractions of your fingers. These alternation of contractions as it moves stuff downward, that would represent a peristaltic movement. Peristalsis is the rhythmic contractions and a wave-like motion that moves food down, essentially a structure. So here we have the movement, and here's the peristalsis right here, moving this bolus all the way down through that peristaltic actions. Now, innervations of the alimentary canal, you're going to have branches of the sympathetic and parasympathetic that's going to be involved here. We know that parasympathetic is going to be the rest and digest, so we're not surprised to see this having a major part in secretion and the motility. Now, sympathetic is going to have an action if at some point we need to prevent the rest and digest and move on to something. So if we want to stop the secretion and the motility, the sympathetic nervous system would take care of that. So the submucosal plexus is going to control secretion, and the myenteric plexus is going to control the gastrointestinal motility. The endocrine cells, these are going to be found in the stomach. So they secrete and regulate the gastrointestinal organs and processes. So these are hormones that are entitled in programming the process. All right, guys, let's dig into more of it in just a moment. We'll talk about the mouth.